Hey there, my name is Erica Koenig-Workman, and I'm here to introduce you to a new book that I'm reading, which is called After Christendom. And this is by Michael Warren Davis, and it was published in 2024, dedicated for Rod Dreher, who opened my eyes. And I'm going to read you the introduction to this book here. Okay. And so here we go. The introduction is Mystics, Martyrs, and Missionaries. Okay. The Lord knows the reasonings of man, and they are emptiness. Psalm 93, verse 11. Progress is the scourge God has chosen for us. Nicholas Gomez Davila. I believe that we are living through the greatest catastrophe since the fall of Rome. Western civilization is dead. Christendom is no more. What we see around us now isn't Christian. It's not even a civilization. It's a mummified corpse, and even the wrapping bands are beginning to fray. Of course, the West could be reanimated someday. It died once already to its old pagan self. Then it rose again in the Middle Ages, made young in the faith. It may rise once more. But if it does, and that's a big if, it will look very little like it does today. Why? Because there's so little worth salvaging. Remember, politicians, journalists, and think tankers have a vested interest in our believing that victory is imminent, or at least possible. The populist right likes to talk about zombie Reaganism and its dead consensus. But this is only a way of discussing its own failures. The conservative elite will blame this or that faction for the right's failure to resist the left, but in reality, it is the right that has failed. It exists now only as a vast Ponzi scheme to enrich those politicians and journalists and think tankers who then use their wealth and power to insulate themselves from the consequences. We have no need for conservatives. There is very little left to conserve. In any case, it wasn't conservatives who resurrected the West or saved the West from decadence and anarchy. It wasn't liberals or socialists or centrists. It wasn't businessmen or lawyers or emperors or kings or queens. No, it was mystics, martyrs, and missionaries. They must save the West again. That's my thesis in a nutshell, says Michael Warren Davis. Okay? In this book, we'll look at just how bad the situation has become and how much worse it's going to get. Then we'll discuss how Christians can survive, even flourish in the coming dark age. I believe that we will flourish. I believe that, once again, that the tears of the mystics, the sweat of the missionaries, and the blood of the martyrs will become the seed of the church. Believe it or not, this is a hopeful book. We're in the middle of a great drama, the greatest since the resurrection. 2,000 years ago, the church conquered the world, but the church divided against herself first in 1054 and again in 1517, and fell into 5 centuries of heresy, apostasy, revolution, and dissipation. True, in some countries, such as the United States, Christians are still a numerical majority. But believers are already a small and hated minority. Everywhere in the Western world, those who cling to the Orthodox faith are reviled by their rulers, their neighbors, even their own shepherds. But if hope has finally run out and the end looks near and all is lost, suddenly a still, small voice, and the beating of wings. That's the introduction to After Christendom. And I'm really looking forward to sharing this book with you. I've read the first chapter already, and next time I will make a post on the first chapter. So thank you very much for being with me in reading the introduction to After Christendom.